today, I thought we could talk a little bit about relaxation and anxiety and stress. I thought I would share with you some of my comforts that help me get through anxiety. So, whether you're struggling with stress or feeling pain, or whether you just want to close your eyes and let go, well, that's all good, and I hope maybe I can help you to feel a little bit better and a little less alone. Of course, anxiety and stress are parts of life, and they inform our decisions and ourselves. So we shouldn't see comfort as an impediment to growth. We shouldn't see comfort as a shirking of our responsibilities or the illusion that life is simpler than it is. I myself am quite resistant to platitudes and too much self-help rhetoric, but the most pragmatic and productive people know that comfort, that relief, and compassion are essential to fortifying yourself, to forgiving yourself, and to always moving forward. So you will help me feel so much relief. I hope I can do the same. So I'll start showing you some objects that give me comfort. This one is Timber, my panda. You can see he's a little worse for the wear because Timber, who is a boy, he likes this pink ribbon quite a lot, though. It makes him feel fancy. Timber has traveled around the world with me. I love his little nosy. His cute little nosy. Because he always reminds me that it's okay to want to feel good about the world, to want to feel tenderness, and I really like to take pictures of Timber cultural landmarks and viewpoints. Because even though we can't revert to being children, sometimes it's nice to think about the things that made us so happy before we understood complication, because I always loved animals, and I know that if I could talk to myself when I was a little kid, she would say, don't ever stop being dazzled. Don't ever stop being sweet. So it can feel good sometimes to sleep in a ball in a fetal position. It can feel good to go get an ice cream, to call up a childhood friend, to listen to music from when you were so little. My mom used to dance around with me when I was very little to Culture Club. It was the 80s. And I hear Boy George sometimes. And a part of me is taken back. So anyway, timbre is my talisman to remember to try to see the world as it is, but also remember the way you felt about the world before it got so complicated. Because those instincts, they still inform who we are. Thank you, timbre. So, I know that one is a bit silly. Some people prefer things like aromatherapy. This is a stress fix. It has lavender scents in it. And lavender can be very powerful in calming. It quiets the mind a little. And it's so fragrant. And all you have to do is just take a little, and you can spread it on your hand. Or your arms. And you can really just breathe. And scents like this, they relieve stress, but they open up the senses. And sometimes smelling something so fragrant and floral, it might make you want to go outside. It might make you want to go and plan a hike or a picnic. I like picnics. And then it's also excellent for sleep. You just smell it and it smells like fields at night. I don't know why lavender smells like nighttime to me, but it does. because it's sort of a quiet, powerful smell. And you can light candles with lavender. You can get pillows with barley and with lavender. It can be so nice. And when I'm trying to sleep, I love to think of a place. Sometimes I close my eyes and I think of my bed as like a raft on a river. This is silly, isn't it? But I do. And sometimes having smells, scents that are really lush, it can really transport the imagination. So it might just help whisk you away to dreamland. I hope so. I deal with anxiety a fair amount, but so do some of my loved ones. So sometimes I make them like little boxes to put by their beds, so that if they wake up and they can't sleep, they can take suggestions from the box. I'm not very crafty, but there's little stars and a comet. I love astronomy. I like stargazing. And I fill the boxes with little cards. Just cards with ideas. Oh, there's a heart. There's a heart inside the box. And sometimes I'll put things like aromatherapy inside too. And things like sleeping masks. Hello. And then I fill them with these cards. Just note cards. And they say things. Different ideas. This one is for someone who has a cat. And the cats can keep you up at night. So I say, if the cat is bothering you, you can just turn up the heat a little bit. And the cat will go and sleep in front of the heater instead of with you. It works. It works. People who have pets, they live longer, they say. They have lower stress levels. But they also sleep less. So it's good to find ways to distract your pets when you need to sleep. So they love heat. And I try to put like little this is a little train or a cable car from San Francisco. Little memories to think of. Things that maybe can banish the bad thoughts from your mind. So you could make a box like this with lots of cards and ideas. This one says, mentally plan a weekend trip. And it has little decorations. Anyway, I think it can be relaxing. And you can make one for someone you love too. I love boxes. Sometimes it's good to just entertain yourself. This is my favorite movie. It's a pretty big statement to have a favorite movie. This is Brazil. And this kit has all of these special features. And there are so many versions of this movie, so and this is dusty. Oh, it's so dusty. Because I have a lot of versions of this movie. Because there's all these different cuts. But one of the things I like is that we talk about stress, anxiety. This movie is quite dystopian and bad things happen to everyone. But there's multiple endings. This movie has different cuts. One of them is called the Love Conquers All cut. You can guess how that one ends. And it's sort of interesting. Almost like there's dust. There's dust everywhere now. It's almost like a choose your own adventure. I personally like the sad ending. But I like that you can choose. Some people say that you choose your feelings. And I think we choose our actions. And we choose our reactions. But I also think that anxiety and even fear, they shape us. And if something really painful happens, or something that you feel like you just can't manage happens, you can't help but feel sensitive. You can't help but feel what you feel. You can choose to work through it. But if you told yourself that every time you felt sad, or every time that you felt scared, or every time you felt anxious, was somehow your fault, you would start to close yourself. You would start to shut out emotion. And you don't have to do that. So sometimes, watching a favorite movie over and over can help distract your mind. Listening to music. And of course, these are very, very obvious things. I'm sure you do this all the time. But what I want to say to you is that there is no shame in distraction and escapism. Because you'll return to your feelings. You will. And then you'll work through them. But sometimes anxiety, panic, well, sometimes they just need to simmer a little. People don't believe me when I tell them how much social anxiety I have. I have good friends. I've always had friends, and I've always been very active in different communities. And I'll show you some little cards that people have sent me. I don't always keep that many cards, but it's nice to think of the people who have thought about you. But for me, even the people who send me these cards, this one has little champagne flutes with these little gems. And even though I have people who send me cards, sometimes the people I'm closest to, sometimes I still get nervous thinking about seeing them. And I think they won't want to see me. I'm too sad right now, or I won't have anything interesting to say. I won't be good company. And even though those are silly little fears, they get in here, you know? They get in my head. And even though you have people who love you, write you nice things on nice cards, don't want to let them down, especially the ones you love the most, you know? But like I said, no one ever believes me about how bad my anxiety gets. And you know the worst thing about anxiety and panic? A lot of the time, they are pretty irrational. Not like this guy. This is a rational being. This is a very fancy and rational cat. And I want to be like this. I want to present myself perfectly and be strong like this cat. And his whiskers. Look at his whiskers. I wonder what it would be like to have whiskers. They would be they grow. Anyway, anxiety becomes irrational, and even if you tell yourself, last time I saw people, I did fine, or last time I went on a job interview, I did fine, or last time I gave a presentation, or took a test, or tried something new, I did fine, maybe I did great, but still, sometimes something happens in my head, and no matter how many cute cats I see, and sometimes I do just look at pictures of cats on the internet, everybody does, but something sometimes stops me. And if it stops you too, I think you should know that I think it happens to everyone. And that it doesn't mean you're weak. And that sometimes it's good to just be honest. To just say, I can't today. I want to see you so bad, but I just don't feel well. I need a mental health day. And they'll understand. Or you can say, I know we had plans to go do something very big and exciting, but I was wondering if you could just come have some coffee with me. My friends and family understand most of the time. And of course, in return, all you have to do is be understanding when they need you too. This is my favorite card. I like to look at these kinds of cards when I'm trying to focus myself. I'm trying to feel love, which is pretty easy. A friend made me this card. This is sort of from winter time. As you can see, there's a snowman and a rainbow. I like that idea. A rainbow in the snow. It's very textured, this card. It has a ribbon here. And it has this like ribbon on the outside too. And it has a picture of my friend and she's actually grown up a little bit. She grows up very fast. But she is my friend, and you can see she's very artistic. And English is her second language. And she's getting better at it all the time. She lives in Cambodia. And she's a very grateful person. And sometimes, even when people we love are very far, we can look at the things that represent them. My friend is someone who has never actually seen snow. So, she dreams about snow falling from a rainbow. I think that's pretty cool. I also have things that remind me of nature, like this. This is fake grass in a planter. And I love the way it sounds. It reminds me of wind blowing. But the thing about me is I like flowers and plants, but I always kill them. I don't mean to. But they always die when I'm in charge of them. So, I have this grass in my windowsill in my kitchen. I have a couple of these. I live in a place where it rains a lot, which I love. I love the sound of rain. Sounds kind of like this. Something like that. But since it rains, it can be gray a lot. So I like to have a little bit of color by my windows. So I have this fake grass. And I thought I would show it to you. Because sometimes things like this relax me. Just running my fingers through it. And even if it's gray, I have this grass. And I don't even have to water it. Because sometimes we comfort ourselves by taking on more responsibility. Like I try to comfort myself by making my home somewhere I want to be. this room here isn't a very good example of it because this is an extra room. I use it for a lot of things. So, but I try to keep my house feeling like a home. So sometimes I'll think, I should buy some plants. I'll buy plants, you know, and then they become even more responsibility. They stress me out because I feel like they're judging me because they start to die. And I know it's because I'm not taking care of them right. So if there are things in your life, places where you can relieve some burden, for me, that's having fake grass instead of real grass. But I don't know. I don't have to water it. There are things in life we can do to simplify. And I think it's always a good idea. I believe in doing myself favors, future favors, I call them. I think about, I'm just going to play with this box a little because I love it. Future favors. I think about, what can I do today to make my life easier tomorrow? And, you know, it helps. So, getting to bed at the right time, or sometimes if I'm stressed about work the next day, I know I have to get up in the morning and work, which everyone loves, right? And then, if I have to get up in the morning and work, and I feel like it will be a stressful day, then before I go to bed, I'll log into my work and do some, just a little bit, even if it's like 20 minutes. That way I know that I have a little less work in the morning. They also say that if when you get up in the morning, you know you have to do one thing in the day that you're really, really dreading, whether it's work or personal, you should always do that thing first. Because then you get it over with. You do a favor for your future self by just doing it. And these are all little simple, obvious things I'm talking about. But mostly, I just wanted to share with you because I get so many comments, and I read them and love them, and I'm so sorry. I don't always respond to everything, but I will try, and thank you. They made me laugh. lot of the comments, they say things like, well, they say really nice things. It's embarrassing. Like, you're like a Disney princess or something. Which is like the nicest thing, because it probably is not shocking. Like I've said before, I like like really violent video games and movies and things, but I love Disney movies and princesses so much. So and but I think that that it's important for me to share that I have so many worries. I have so many doubts about myself. And so I'm not even close to perfect. I go over in my head and think, I wish I were smarter. I wish I were cooler. I wish I looked like so and so and so and so. But I'm getting better at dealing with doubt, and I hope that, like I said before, if you have gone on and sent nice comments to me or to other people on the internet, if you tell your friends and you tell your family how great they are, how much you love them, don't forget to tell yourself, okay? And I know this has been quite a ramble. And it's been silly. But I hope you can sleep. I hope that you can face what you need to face. I hope you can comfort yourself. I hope you can do yourself little favors to make tomorrow easier on you. And I'm very excited because I have some role plays and videos coming up that will have a lot more direction than this. But sometimes I think it's nice to just meander. So thank you for meandering with me. And I will talk to you and see you soon, I hope. And Timber says goodbye. He says good night if you're going to sleep. He says, well, he's a panda. He doesn't really talk, but he would tell you to be well, to accept yourself. And that doesn't mean to run away, but it means just to take the time when you need it, okay? Okay.